you will be able to recommend to them what to do to set up a robust platform to cater for their consumers.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. One of the principal complaints we have here is that when people call in to complain or to make inquiries, they don't get answered. They stay on the phone for up to 15, 20 minutes listening to some music and listening to advertisements from Multichoice. 15 minutes that they pay for, okay? And at the end of the day, nothing happens. His problem is not solved. Nothing happens.
So
the point is, just let me make this point. The point is this. If you don't have enough customer agents, you have a problem.
Yeah,
that kind of problem will occur. Now, if I know, or if we know how many consumers you have, we can recommend to you that you must have a minimum number of customer agents to a number of consumers, so that when people pick up the phone and call you, somebody will answer them.
Okay. So this document is very significant to your investigation?
Obviously, very, very significant.
Okay, and so because DStv refused to hand over the document to you, decided to raid their office?
Let me put it like this, because I don't like to use the word raid.
Okay.
Under Section 15 of the Consumer Protection Council Act, the council has powers to enter into business premises and examine documents and take away documents or records that it thinks are relevant to its investigation.
Okay.
And so that was what we did. Now, we have asked you in a gentlemanly way, bring the documents nicely. Bring the documents. You failed to bring them. So we just exercised our powers under Section 15 of the Councils Act and went to your premises and collected what we could collect.
Okay, so can you tell us about the enforcement exercise?
The enforcement exercise took place on the 15th of October in the offices of Multichoice in Victoria Island in Lagos. It was run by about 6 or 7 staff of the council from the enforcement department, from legal department, from PR. At the premises, it was a bit laughable, would I say, because by the time we got there, DStv obviously had some other problem with some other agency. I think it was Etiosa local government, something to do with tenement rates or so. And so before we got there, the people had locked up their office and scampered away, should I say. They had run away. And so it took us a while to get into the office, and when we did, they were resisting. They didn't want us to take documents, they didn't want us to do anything on their site, and so forth and so forth. At the end of the day, we had to tell the general public that, well, we have not been able to get all the things we wanted to get, but we will get them. We will come back to that premises. We will go to any other DStv or Multichoice premises where we think we can get the documents we want. And at the end of the day, we will bring this investigation to a conclusion in the interest of consumers.
Protecting our consumers.
We are.
Most definitely. We'll take a quick break at this junction. Don't go away. Okay, so what's the next step? What's CPC planning in relation to, in this DStv matter? What's next?
I'm not going to tell you that here now. Maybe what I'll do is to repeat what I told you when we were at their premises on the 15th. I did tell you that we will go after whatever document we want.
Okay.
I also did tell you then that we will carry out a prosecution of all the representatives of Multichoice who failed to give us those documents. But one thing I can assure you is that we will leave no stone unturned to actualize our mandate and ensure that consumers get their money's worth.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mrs. Ogundipe, we're quickly running out of time, but I want you to briefly tell us how this will impact on consumers in the long run.
Definitely to have a positive impact. Because when you deal with broad-based consumer issues, it has an impact on the generality of consumers, rather than treating it complaint by complaint, which will we could take forever.
Exactly.
But if you are able to do it holistically, you find that it will have an impact on the consumers. And I must say that this is not a personal thing. It has nothing to do with DStv. We have nothing against DStv. I use DStv. I'm sure he does, and I'm sure you do. You know, but it's just a question of you want things to be done properly. And you want whatever is available to other climes, the positive things, you must be available to Nigerians.
Exactly. So we should basically be at par with international best
par
practices.
or even better, because we have the numbers.
Exactly.
I mean, so many people go abroad, come back, and then they now just accept.
This is how
this is Nigeria.
Nigerian
we
factor.
cannot take that anymore. I mean, the mantra is change.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're doing.
Mrs. Ogundipe, I want you to tell consumers what they should do when they feel they are shortchanged, especially in light of the ongoing investigations.
I will always advise consumers that should they have any reason to feel they're not getting the best, they should complain first of all to the service provider or the manufacturer or the seller of the goods especially. And if they do not get any satisfaction, they should come back to the CPC. And in respect of the investigations that are going on, if anybody feels that they've done all these and they still do not have any positive response from the providers, they should write to the CPC.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ogundipe. Thank you, Mr. Tagoba. It's been a delight having you in the studio today.
You're welcome.
Well, viewers, that's all we can take on the enforcement powers of CPC and DStv investigations. Please don't go away. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will take CPC updates and social media feedback. Stay with us.
To make a complaint to the Consumer Protection Council in order to obtain redress over a product or a service, you contact the seller or service provider and present your query. Ensure you keep relevant records of your conversation. If the problem is not resolved at this level, complain to CPC. Your complaint should be clear, providing relevant facts such as where and when you bought the product or service. You should state clearly what you want from the seller or service provider. Is it a refund, a repair, or a replacement? Complaints should be sent either to the CPC office nearest to you in any of our zonal offices across Nigeria, CPC head office in Abuja, the official email of the council, or by telephone. CPC does not charge fees for complaints. Pursuant to the continued efforts of the Council to provide a more robust and proactive consumer education drive, the Council, led by the Director General, Mrs. Dukpe Atoki, paid a courtesy call on the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, at the Presidential Villa. A productive and engaging discussion between the two legal professionals, the visit was successful in all ramifications. The Director General thanked the Nigerian government for the support given to the Council and also made a strong case for continued support, especially in the area of consumer education, enforcement exercises, as well as the passage of the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission Bill. In response, the Vice President congratulated the Director General for the exemplary visibility she has given CPC since assumption of office, and he promised a continued government support to ensure CPC succeeds in its mandate of promoting and protecting consumer rights.